okay, excavating 20 trenches of 2 by 2, 4 by 4, try to hit some kind of remains which were there on the ground. And the forestry services have been very helpful for us, because even their workers walking around with us and said, okay, I saw a row of stone here before, maybe it's something, go and try to see. So they were helping us. Next, please. And excavation, so as I said, 20 trenches, and below the wall, in some of the trench was blank, so we got hardly anything, just a piece of nail or anything. But in some trenches, we got remains, we got proper foundation walls. And the one down, the photograph down, is the foundation of the Poudre. Next, please. This is what we saw was that the buildings which was for administrative purpose, they were properly built, which is kind of expected. So out of stone, so the foundation of the Poudre was out of stones, but the foundation of the huts were not very solid. So what was there was just row of stones, 2 slight row of stones resting on the subsoil, and from there you have the huts built. So you don't have much remain really of the huts. Next, please. So this gives you an idea of the trenches of the Poudre. These are the 2 structures that you see in the historical plan. These are the 2 structures that actually we saw on the site during excavation, and we documented them. Next, please. So this is the Poudre remains foundation wall of the Poudre. Next. Again, we have post hole in the foundation wall, so we know, we have an idea of how the structure was constructed, partly of stone walls, partly of wood. Next. This is another structure which is very mysterious to us up to now, because we found something on historical plan. Earlier historical plans indicate that there was a powder house there, but the structure itself doesn't indicate that. And we got, while excavating this, we got very big balls. So we suspect that a kind of machinery was resting there. But still we don't have more details, more research will have to be done based on the artifacts to be able to find out exactly what it was out. Next, please. So this is the structure. So it was something dug inside the earth, in the subsoil, and then structure built on. So it was something meant to be very strong, and with proper blocks, cut blocks. Next, please. So that was mostly of the corridor. Why I separated that? Because actually the type of structures and the artifacts are quite distinct from the corridor and from the industrial zone. Industrial zone is all the area which is actually enclosed now. Next, please. And what we found was that this is the industrial zone from the 1785 plan. What we found was that the structures built was used for at different times of history. It was used, next please, it was used during the Moulin site, which is was our main base for study. They are still there. The foundation, part of the walls, part of the doors and all, they are still there. So this is the Poudre country. Those who will see, go with us for the site visit, you're able to have a chance to see those structures. So all these structures has been cleared. They were all covered with dirt and soil and also lots of vegetation. So students help us and all, they help us, and we clean it out, and it has all been marked and recorded. Next, please. This is what we excavated there, and unfortunately all these iron bars was robbed just 2 days after our excavation. 2 days after excavation. When I came on the site, I was like, actually we came on the site because the NBC wanted to film what we discovered, but what we discovered was no more there when the NBC came after 2 years. It was really sad. Next, please. The flooring of those structures, so all these were excavated. They all had these basalt blocks flooring. Next, the Moulin was another area that we cleaned, and we saw the foundation of that Moulin, and really it is quite distinct because you had strong and very big blocks, which would actually be there for a moulin to produce gunpowders to avoid explosions. So the technique used could be found while doing our research on site. The remains there that hopefully you will see if you visit the site next. And while the main focus, as I told you, was the French period, but doing archaeology, you cannot remove the British period and then go to the French. We have to document everything. And next to the Moulin à Pulvériser, we got this structure, which we finally traced back to the British plans, and this was a temple. A temple during the British period in the 1830s, a temple for the Buddhists, because this site was also used for Kandian prisoners from Sri Lanka. This site was used for Sri Lankan prisoners, political prisoners, so they had the temple there. But we did not excavate the temple, we just cleared and exposed, and also hopefully the research continues and we'll have proper excavation and documentation of this site also. Next, please. We also identified, we couldn't intervene archaeologically on this, but it has been mapped. We also identified remains pertaining to the other moulin and the logement, and also lots of structures has been found, but we couldn't document in detail. They have just been mapped. Next, please. And this is a well next to the moulin, and again, even the well stones are going. Next, please. And this is another Moulin à Cylindre. This is when you go down there on the side, actually it's plain, you don't see anything. So we were trying with Fabien, volunteer and student, we were trying with all the different techniques that maybe traditional archaeologists won't use really, but everybody coming in and saying that we want to help and try to locate a structure, they were welcome. And we was trying to locate where the moulin was based on water system and all, and human psychology and all this stuff. But human energy, and actually he's a geobiologist. Yeah. So he was helping us to find that structure, but we didn't find it yet. So hopefully if we got technique like LIDAR, they will help. We also tried magnetometer there, it doesn't work because of the high iron content in the soil. But we are planning for LIDAR, but it's very costly. So, so hopefully if we get such kind of apparatus, we can scan the whole site and find what is there below. Next, please. This is the area where you are. These buildings are there, but this is what it was in the French period. So you have the tower and you have all the sécherie area. So the sécherie for the gunpowder and the raw materials were found in this area, and with the berger and all. So I imagine it was very beautiful with berger and all here. So, but it was changed, this landscape here started to be changed in 1860s with the coming of the orphanage building, these buildings, dormitory for the orphans building. So, and the tower was there even, I suspect, even before the Moulin à Poudre, because I think I identified it in all earlier plans, but more research has to be done on this field. Now, research on this side, not done yet. Next, please. So hopefully we'll continue. But this side, as you see, it has all started to be changed in the 1860s. So 1874, you have the orphan building coming in, and 1890s, you already have the Hospital of Leprosy being, the site being used for the leprosy hospital here. Next, please. So as you see, this site has been very dynamic. You have structures dating back to the forges when the Forge de Montdésir was here. So actually some of the structures that you will see, if you see the Cour de Raffinerie, if you see in the 1785 plan, and you will see on site, is actually, we found that there were structures dated back to the site when it was used as forges. So those structures, some kind of amenities was there. That's why they moved the Moulin à Poudre here. So the Moulin à Pulvériser on the next corner, it was there, and the structures here, it was there. So it continued to be used. It continues to be, so when documenting the site, you will see that there are different layers of history which can be found in the structure itself, different phases of construction. And all this has been documented, and this is what we have there in turn 17. Next, please. Several phases of construction, you will see in the walls, the windows and then shutting down of the windows, and also it's all depending on the use of the site from the French period to the British period as a prison. Next please. As we already saw, all these beautiful canal system which was there, all the Moulin, all the gunpowders, they were water-driven wheels. They were working with the water-driven wheels. So you had several canals falling on the wheels, and then it would turn the mechanism on, and then all the mechanism will go on crushing the raw materials and mixing and all to be able to make the gunpowder. And unfortunately, Vijaya showed you a photograph where this bits of wall was completely gone. This was before that. So even it's worse now if you go. Next, please. Artifacts. I didn't put photographs because we brought a sample for you. Hope you don't touch, we don't take, but you can have an idea of some of the precious artifacts that we got there. Precious for us, maybe not for everybody, but they are precious because they give an indication of what kind of materials were there. Very interestingly, we got the dies, bone made. It's made of bones. We got unfinished pipe made of bones, unfinished, so we suspect that it was being made on site. And then we had kaolin pipes, and then the chilam, the Indian pipes and all this. That they are all there. This is sample. Lots of the badges are there in the museum because lots of the slave badges has been collected before we were surveying the site by early surveyors, but they are there in the museum. Next please. This project has been a lot of capacity building. Very important. Since we started in 2015, we put lots of emphasis on capacity building, students, volunteers. You even have secondary students who participated as volunteers. Next. So it has been lots of endeavor of making people know what is archaeology, what is history, what the site is about, and get them to participate. So you have all the students at different seasons, different students participating. Next please, they are very enthusiastic cleaning the site. So next please, and they had to, and they discovered major problem on the site. I will just seize the opportunity to highlight that. I'm talking too much, but major problem on the site now is the stone theft. We had the problem of dumping, but hopefully Ministry of Health and Forestry and all, they are helping to clean, but this is what is happening to all the stone structures on the site. So just to give you 2015, the wall was like that. 2016 when it came, it was a few stones gone, and 2017 it's horrible. This is at least the building is still there, the stones are gone. Some buildings disappeared. So between 2015 and 2017, buildings disappeared. And they are very ruthless, the thieves. They are just breaking everything to take the blocks, and this is what is left. The pile of stone down. We came one day, the pile of stone was there, we took photograph. Next day we bring the CID, the pile of stone was not there. And some of it already crossed we found some of them crossing the canal. So the stones are walking. Next please. So you can have an idea of what is being left of the boundary wall. Next. And what we excavated, the iron bars and what was left after 2 days when we came to glorify our discovery with the MPC, and this is what was left. Next. We are coming in the report, we also have proposals. One thing is that the research is not, whatever you saw of all this work being done for nearly 2 years, it's only, not even one quarter of the site is documented and researched. So we still have much to do concerning research. The site is left in a really bad state, and robbery is being encouraged and all because of this thick vegetation, invasive vegetation. So we are proposing to get the vegetation cleared, not clean, because some people thought that we are asking to remove, no, but cleared, be precise, and have the site develop as, next please, they are all there, but how this site develop as a kind of heritage, from health, from history park, where people can know the site, discover the site, tourists can come to visit, have trails. It's next to the hospital. Why not people going and enjoy what is there behind as a park? And you have beautiful canals, water canals, and then You have beautiful ruins to discover as the culture. So combine all the culture and nature together and make it a beautiful park for Mauritians and for tourists. This is one of our proposals. And this kind of development will discourage any kind of theft or mishappening on the site. That's all I think. Next please. I think that's all. The list is very long, very, very long. So all the people who contributed mainly, and Vijaya already told about them in her intervention in the beginning, but all these people are really thank Forestry Services and Ministry of Housing and Lands. They have been very helpful to us. And all the other collaborators next, please, and acknowledgement list is very, very long. So thank you to everybody. And we want to continue research on the site, so our authority really need help. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So, I am a history student of University of Mauritius. I am very proud to be here today and represent the students who worked during excavation that took place during the month of March. During this archaeological survey, I have enriched my knowledge in history and archaeology. I am proud that my colleagues and I helped in discovering and preserving this site. It is a great joy to see that Mauritians are still concerned about our heritage. I would like to thank you all for being here today and helping us to protect and preserve our history, our identity, our heritage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I can see that there are many students right here, and some of them are quite sleepy. So I won't be long. I wanted to say that this site has quite a lot of potential, not in terms of history, in terms of architecture, but also the way it was used, the way we can use it, especially for the other government officers. They can use it for other purposes. And also, so we are some students who came with an association who are trying to help to preserve certain maximum of heritage sites as we can, and so that these buildings are in danger. So we took an action of going forward to preserve it, and we are quite proud of it, of what we have achieved through during a short time. And I think that's all. I've been asked to talk about the associations, donc vous êtes donc réel. Alors, cette association-là, ce but, c'est que nous leur préserve l'héritage. Donc, comme les autres associations, ce qui concerne l'héritage, nous savons faire une recherche, nous savons faire amener un point de l'avant qui nous capte pour notre préservation, puis nous capte connectement nous capte ces bâtiments-là dans le futur. Et dans ce sens, nous amener l'histoire aussi à plus de gens. Et actuellement, nous dépensons pour aller dans différentes écoles, même une école avec une special needs, pour que nous puissions montrer l'histoire sur valeur. Parce que l'histoire, ce n'est pas réservé à des étudiants d'université, des étudiants gradués, etc. C'est aussi des élèves collèges, des élèves primaires, préprimaires. Ça revient sur façon de procéder, sur façon de nous faire approche maintenant. Et donc, c'est dans ce but que nous créons l'association-là pour nous faire une histoire, héritage, à tout un petit monde qui nous capable.
Je suis levé ensemble avec Vinla.
C'est tout.
Juste au moins une posée.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey.
I don't know what to make of the rain. I think different cultures have different interpretations. Let's consider this as a blessing for this event. I think at the end of this series of presentations, fascinating insights into this place where all of us are today. What we wanted to do also is give an opportunity for every one of you who's here to actually visit the site where the archaeological finds are located. So what we'll do now, we'll stop the discussions. We'll have the tea break. So the tea is going to be ready to be served in a few minutes here. We would be taking groups of 10 persons each batch to go and visit. So those who want to go on the visit, if you can assemble just at the entrance here, and you'll be guided towards the back of the buildings and the pathway leading towards the archaeological finds over there. So by groups of 10, and now I think it should be ready for the tea break. So please, those of you who want to have your refreshments first, go ahead. And those of you who want to go for the visits, you start getting ready. But it's going to be done in batches of 10.